Hi, my name is Dennis, and here's that video that you requested. So I'm going to kind of go through it in the order that you filled it out, just to make sure we don't miss a lot of things. I'm going to skip. You had some things checked on the estimating. I'm going to leave that off because I thought you guys were going to continue to use HCSS, which I sent you a copy of a letter from them that we do integrate with that and pretty seamlessly. So you can continue to use HCSS, and we'll be able to pull the budget into Sage 100. So what you're looking at is one of our screens. These are all customizable. This is just customized for my use, the way I like to use it. But we have payroll, purchasing and AP. But we'll spend some time on projects because you wanted to see things like change orders, RFI, submittals, transmittals, all part of Sage 100, all integrated so that if I go into a change order, let me just pull this open here. I have one already filled out. So here's number 17. It's change order for this job. It's change order number 900. That was the number we decided to use. You can have the system highlight or assign them in succession. So, if I have 5 now, the next one time I open one up for this job, it'll number at number 6. The nice part is in the change order, we collect the budget to do that. And so in this case, very simply, we just got a quote from a subcontractor. His cost to us was $1,850. We wound up getting approval from the owner for $2,300. So as this becomes approved, right now, if you look at the top, it's open. But if I were to mark this approved, then my contract goes up by $2,300, and my cost budget is going to go up by $1,850. And then I can print change order number 2 for the sub to sign. Obviously, first I'm going to get the owner to sign it, and I'm going to print change order number 900 for the owner to sign. So if I just open this up real quick, it would look something like that. It's got your logo, your name, customer, what project it's for, and then the description, and then the cost, and then a roll up of from the original contract value to the new contract value. So definitely handle change orders, subcontracts. As you can see, we handle the subcontract and the change order, but we also handle subcontracts. And if subcontracts is a huge part of your business, then this report is, as a TV commercial would say, is priceless. And so let me just pull this up real quick here. So what you have here is what we call our subcontract audit. It is for one vendor. It's Samson Electrical. It's my electrical subcontractor. And it's for one job, job 27. And these are the 3 items that he received on his original subcontract. So the day we started a job, he had a subcontract valued at $2,900. Since then, we've issued 2 change orders to him, which now has increased his subcontract value to $5,250. If there were pending change orders where he has not returned ones that we have sent, they would show here. And then on the next page, we show what he's invoiced me and the amounts of those invoices were. And right here, I can see that it's still sitting in accounts payable that we have not written those checks. But in Sage 100, one of the real niceties is if I want to see that record, I can drill right back to the AP data entry screen to see what that is. Throughout the system, you'll see a paperclip up here in the top right-hand corner. There's nothing on this item right here, but if I scroll back to this change order, so give me 1 second. Let me go back to that change order I had open a couple seconds ago. Now if you look at that paper clip in the top right, it's white, which says there's something back there. So you can see that I have attached several PDFs that have something to do with this. Those could be Excel spreadsheets, Word documents, Outlook emails that I've dragged and dropped in. But as you find documents that you want to associate to any other item, you just drag and drop those items right to the paper clip, and now they're associated there permanently. So that's a big deal, especially as you're doing a lot of things. I'm not going to go into RFIs and submittals and transmittals. Just know that we can do them, and when we get into a formal presentation, we can show those to you if you want, but they are part of the system. And then daily field reports, which is a nice little thing. I'm just going to bring one that's already filled out because I don't like to type. Or I should say most people don't like to watch me type because it's kind of painful as slow it is. So daily field report, exactly what it is. Today's date, what job am I working on, what am I doing, who am I, which superintendent or project manager is it that's filling this out, things like what the temperature is, what the weather's like, This is a user-defined field. A lot of our clients want to put the inspector's name in there so they can have track of that. These are the employees that worked. These are the tasks that they worked on, whether it's regular time, overtime pay. I don't know if you're going to have prevailing wage issues, but if you were doing certified payroll, the pay group that they're working in that day, and then the number of hours that they worked. And you can see here that Lee Singh is on here twice because he worked 4 hours on one item and 4 items on another item on that same job. So once that's filled out, again, you can also list what subs worked out there that day. If you have equipment that you charge to your projects, that equipment can be listed here. And then these are kind of weird units. So this is days, this is miles. So the percentages that you used, so we can charge that equipment to the job. If you have meetings that day, I had a meeting and this is what I talked about, so that's there permanently as well. So that's our daily field reports. The nice part is, and I'm going to go to payroll real quick here, which actually is going to be out of order a little bit, but if I go to payroll processing and go to enter payroll records, one of my options here is to import that data from the daily field report. So if the guy in the field or woman in the field is filling out the daily field reports with the employees, the cost code, and the hours, there's no keying of time cards at the end of the week because all that stuff has been entered daily and automatically imported into each individual's time card. Obviously, it may need to be edited and reviewed, but the core entry is done. The basic entry is already done based on the daily field report amount, which to me is going to save somebody a whole lot of time. So again, I'm just going over some items here. So you'll see that that's how I would enter a week daily payroll once a week. Okay, a payroll once a week, and down here I have daily payroll. So I can enter Monday's payroll on Tuesday and Tuesdays on Wednesdays, but I can enter it either once a week or once a day. It's your choice, but we give you both of those. And again, most of our clients enter it through the daily field report and put that data entry in the hands of the field person that knows exactly what they were doing. Let me close a couple of these up here. If I'm in project management, again, I'm just going through the list here, and I want to limit who can get in there, I hit my function 7 button and say, hey, in project management, only people allowed in there are these 3 people. And so those 3 people have now access to that menu option. And if I open this up, I can say the only 2 people allowed in job reports are the estimator and the owner. If I close that and I go down here to this one report, I can say the only person that can see that report is the owner. And so each menu option has security by what we would call groups, and then each employee would be a member of either one group, 2 groups, whatever. They can be in multiple groups. And so that's how we control that security. Cost reporting is the core of this whole program. There's 130 odd cost reports that are standard with the system. One of my favorites is this one here. And just fill in the items of work that you performed. This is just samples, but that's the items of work on this project. These are the hours that we put into the budget or estimated. These are the hours processed by payroll. This is just math. This is the percent of the hours I've actually used as of today. I could come in here and say, hey, this is 60% complete based on field measurements. This is only 20% complete, and we'll make this 30% complete, just so we have some numbers to look at. At that point, I can come over here and say, based on these percentages of complete and these hours that we've already used, this is where I'm going to be under budget, over budget, under budget, and then in the very bottom right hand total corner down here, I just highlighted in blue, is the over and under hours for this project as of today. Okay, so we have it that way. I'm just going to open this up really quick. I'm not going to go through a lot of detail, but you can always freeze the screen to look at it. Same kind of information, except now I'm looking at what I budgeted per unit versus what I actually performed it for per unit. So this is a really great report, especially when a project is complete. You can now go in and say, hey, I budgeted 85, I spent 138. How the heck did that happen? And what should I be bidding on the next job, right? On this one, we were pretty close. I bid 80, it cost me 87. This is a good one, 238 budget, did it for 235. So to get those numbers, great analysis for when the projects are complete to make sure that you're on track for what you're doing. We do track vendors insurance. I kind of call it the 3 strikes rule. If I go to create a purchase order or a subcontract and they have no insurance, it warns me. When I enter the AP invoice, it warns me the second time. And when I go to write checks, I have the choice of it warning me or actually putting a hard stop and not even printing the check. Your choice. I really suggest that you do the hard stop and not even print the check until you get that certificate delivered to you. So we do it a couple of different ways. One more thing here. Let's go to accounts receivable, progress billings. And so if I go to progress billings, let me just pull up a job real quick here. Actually, I want to use this one. These are my bill schedule of values. This is the value that we agreed to per line item. If there's change orders, I can add the change order to each individual line if that's what the client wants, or I can add the change orders as separate line items at the bottom. It's I've seen it done both ways. And when you go to do this billing, you have a choice of either entering in a percent here, what percent you're complete, or what you want to bill, and just enter an amount in there. So your choice. Most of our clients actually enter the percent complete. It will track the retention for you. I have a sample here. Just bring up, show you what it looks like. Give it 1 second here, and who the owner is, who the prime is, what the project is, boilerplate stuff. The information for the billing, a place for the contractor to sign it, and then some of our clients, their owners request a architect certificate as well, which is kind of a pain, but some people they require that. And then on page 2, whoops, skip the page there. On page 2, we actually have the details of what that is. And this is a custom report, but if you want it, let us know. We actually like to try and save you some time, so we actually added the conditional waiver and release on the progress as part of that billing. So when you create the billing, it automatically fills this information in for the release on progress. So you don't have to do that as a separate transaction. So close that. And give me 1 second. Let me go through your list here. In a full T&M, and you said you want to look at our agent. One of the great things about Sage 100, we have agents, but none of our clients really use those. They use what we call a receivable call sheet. And you'll see I have just a ton of different versions of this. Usually I use this one here. I'm just going to pull this up real quick. So in this case, Bill Simpson is my client. There's his phone number, his extension, maybe a cell phone number, and a fax number. These are notes that I've been taking as this job has been progressing, or my client's been progressing. And you'll see that I've identified that for Bill, he actually has 2 jobs going with us, 27 and 13. And then I have the balance due and the past due amount for each job and each invoice. And so instead of running an agent, I get a lot more detail here. And now I can go pick up this phone and say, hey, you know what, Bill? Where's my check for the $13,000, right? But that is all in here in our call sheet. Saves a lot of time. Not having to go back and look up phone numbers and what have you. Full equipment management, and again, I'm just highlighting some things here. We can get it, if this is looking close to what you're thinking of, we can really deep dive on the next demo. Let me just fill in a number here. So we follow pieces of equipment, financial information like where the equipment interest expense goes, where account you want the depreciation expense to. There's the monthly depreciation because we can automatically generate those journal entries to produce that. If it's a loan, it's a lease or a loan, we can actually have this automatically schedule the payments in AP so they don't have to be entered each month. And then you'll be able to get reports, because as we're using the machines, we're obviously billing them to a job and an item. And as we're repairing them, then we're charging the cost to the piece of equipment. So you will be able to get reports out of the equipment system. And I always like to show you what you're going to get, not how you put it in, because who cares how you put it in, as long as you get the information to manage your company. So great report. If you look at any one of these line items, and we'll look at line 1 because it's a loser. For this piece of equipment, it's been used for 186 miles for this report. That was my cost for that. That was my revenue. And so you can see that every mile that works, I lose $5. That may not be a big deal. And so we'll just move on. If I go down to the next line item, this item here, I'm making $18 for every hour it works. So I'm able to see which pieces of equipment are money generators and which ones are using up my money to keep them repaired and operating. So full equipment. Do have a work order system. I noticed that was in your notes, but not on your check sheet. Full work order system as well. That can be sent out to iPads or tablets for the guys to use in the field. And if I go into the last thing I'm going to look at here, if I go into parts, and I don't have a lot of data in here. If I just go to this one right here, let me just pull this up real quick for you. As I look at this part, which is just named as part, if I look at the purchase history, I would then see every vendor that I bought that part from, the date that I bought that, the quantity that I bought, and what the unit price was. So if I'm buying from multiple vendors, I will see that here, and I will see what the last price I paid for it with the specific vendor. So full inventory management system, as well as ability to go down into prices. I think I covered pretty much everything on your own. It is unlimited. I have clients. I have one client that has 60 users on the system at the same time. A lot of clients that have somewhere between 20 and 30 on the system at the same time. I have general contractors everywhere from $500,000 to my largest company does concrete work and a lot of government work, and they're in the probably over 100 million. I can just say that they're over 100 million. I have several that are between 50 and 75 million. Very happy with this product. It just continues to work, and that's it. Most of the things on your checklist. If this makes sense and we want to do a demo for your company so others can actually see it, and ask questions, I'd love to get that on the calendar for you. So anyway, I appreciate your interest. Let me know how we can help you move on to the next step. And again, my name is Dennis. Phone number is 800-659-5851. So 800-659-5851. And the last thing I should add is that we've been doing this since 2001. We have over 1,400 clients using Sage 100 Contractor. I have over 15 Sage 100 consultants that can help you get this up and running and work on data migrations from your current system. So whatever you need to get done, I think we can get it done for you. Thanks.